Hi everyone, it's Nicole Wilkins with FitnessRx for Women, and I am back with your next question and answer segment where I took your questions from Facebook and I'm going to answer them for you today. The first question is, gosh, I got all screwed up. I said that first tagline different than I normally do. Alright, the first question is, how can I lean out my legs and hip area? Should I do cardio only and skip the weights until I see the desired results? What do you recommend? My recommendation is to not skip out on the weight training if you're trying to lean out your lower half. You want to keep the muscle. Muscle burns more body fat than cardio. So you're going to want to keep the muscle. And besides, once you lose the body fat, if you don't have the shape of the muscle underneath, you're just going to be a smaller, soft version of your current self. And you're not going to have very good definition and shape. So take a look at your diet. Diet is going to be 80% of your results. If you work out really hard in the gym, you do cardio, you weight train, and you go home and eat a burger, you basically are reversing, you're eating all the calories you just burnt back. So make sure that you are really focusing on what you're eating. The next question is, how often should we reassess our macros and caloric intake as we are losing fat and gaining lean mass? I mean, losing fat and gaining lean mass are usually two different programs. If you want to gain muscle, you're eating more calories. If you want to lose body fat, you're at a calorie deficit. But if whatever your goal is, how often you should reassess your macros is, I would say probably every 2 weeks on average. If you're at a calorie deficit, you may not see changes visually on the scale or in the mirror every week. It might take you 4 weeks or 5 weeks, because if it's at a slight deficit, it's going to take a long duration of time. And to me, I feel like that's the best way to do it, because yes, you could crash diet, you could drop your calories, you could up your cardio a ton, and you could lose weight faster, but then is that something you can sustain? No. Once you start upping your calories again, and most people either drastically increase them because they're so burnt out and they're starving and they can't do it anymore, and then they end up gaining the weight back super fast and then some, and they feel awful within a very short period of time. So the slower the better. I know we're all really impatient. We all want results right now and today, but the slower and steadier the pace, the better. And even though, like I said, you're not seeing it there, doesn't mean you're not progressing. What would you consider the best inner thigh workout? Well, when you're doing squats and you're doing lunges, you are still working a little bit of the inner thigh. But the wider your stance, the more you're going to work the inner thigh. So I would say sumo squats, wide leg squats, even adductor machines where you're, bringing the resistances against you as you pull your legs together. It works more of the inner thigh. Lateral lunges are really great for the inner thigh. But if you want to lose body fat, again, it comes down to being in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. What do you suggest for nighttime cravings? I always struggle the most after dinner. I've read up a lot on nutrition, and there are so many rules on how much protein and fat to consume when cutting and trying to keep muscle. What is your rule? My rule is that there is no rule. You could have 10 people in front of you, all weighing 150 pounds, and every single one of those people are going to have different caloric intakes, different macro adjustments, different amounts of fat, different amounts of body fat, hold their body fat in different spots. They're all going to be different heights. They're all going to have different individual requirements. So there is no rule. There is no protocol for all 10 of those people and have all 10 of those people see results. It's going to be trial and error. So to answer your first question, what do you suggest for nighttime cravings? I feel like people crave the most when they're not eating enough throughout the day. So if you're not having breakfast or you're waiting way too long, like if you're having lunch at noon and then you're not eating until 6 or 7, that's too long. And then at night you get home and you're starving and you don't even care about what you're eating. You just want to eat something. So it's usually the worst case scenario, right? You eat the fastest, easiest thing, which isn't usually the healthiest option. Some things other than not eating enough throughout the day are boredom. So if you are watching TV and it's by the kitchen and you want to have something to keep you occupied while you eat while you're watching TV, a lot of people will snack before bed. In situations like that, I usually will drink decaf coffee or have hot tea, or have I like to snack on cucumbers and carrots because they're low calorie and they keep me occupied and they taste good. So find things that are low calorie options and ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I bored? Am I thirsty, or maybe go into another room and get rid of the temptation. And the last question I have is, what are your views on wearing sweat belts and leggings during cardio and training sessions? Do they reduce cellulite and water retention? I tend to hold a lot of water. If you wear sweat belt or like one of those like rubber waistbands or pants to help you sweat more, all you're doing is getting rid of excess water. But once you eat or drink, that water is going to come back. So I don't think it helps burn body fat. And burning body fat will come with working out hard and watching what you eat. The only way you're going to reduce cellulite is if you reduce overall body fat. And again, I don't think I think it's a waste of money. Bottom line. All right, guys, those are my questions for this week. Until next week, keep asking your questions on the FitnessRx for Women Facebook page, and I'll be back here every Friday to answer them for you. Until then, keep living the fit life.